It is my pleasure to welcome you to this class. In today's lesson, I will be teaching you peace education. Of course, you know that peace is very important in every society. And a society without peace, such a society will be chaotic. For your lesson objectives, by the end of this class, you should be able to define peace, discuss the need for peace, and also state how peace can be promoted in our society. Now, let's look at the definition of peace. Peace is defined as a situation or a period of time in which there is no war, argument, or violence in a country or an area. So, that period of time where there is no violence is called peace. Now, let's look at peace education. Peace education is the process of acquiring the values, the knowledge, and developing the attitudes, skills, and behavior to live in harmony with one another. Again, peace education programs are those programs that are meant to equip students with the need for peace in our society. So, in our society, peace is needed. And these programs include anti-nuclearism, which means that there is need for us to advocate anti-nuclearism in the world. This is because of the harmful effects of nuclear weapons. Again, there is also need for us to advocate environmental responsibility. You see, when the environment is dirty, is not well taken care of, then the world will not be a habitable place for we all to live in. So there is need for environmental responsibility. Also, communication skill. You should know how to communicate to people without necessarily offending them. Communicating with people peaceably, giving people the attention they deserve. Another program for peace is non-violence. Non-violence entails not inflicting injuries on people or things, including animals. So you shouldn't go violent. Another peace education program is conflict resolution techniques. These techniques teach people how to resolve conflicts, how to be calm, and resolve differences. Another one we have is democracy. Of course, democracy is all about allowing the will of the people to prevail. Allowing the will of the people to prevail. That is democracy. Another one is human rights awareness. Showing to people that they have rights and that other people should respect these rights of individuals instead of violating individual rights. Again, we have tolerance of diversity. This is all about tolerating people's beliefs, ideas, and values. You don't impose your ideas on people or your belief system on people, knowing that there is room for tolerance of diversity. Again, we have coexistence and gender equality. This is one of the programs of peace education for people to learn how to coexist with one another. Now let's look at the mechanism for promoting peace. What are the mechanisms for promoting peace? According to James Page, there are several mechanisms for promoting peace. And these include 1. encouraging a commitment. When people are committed to agreements, then there is bound to be peace. But when we have people who don't respect agreements, then conflict is bound to occur. Again, people should have the knowledge of the consequences of war. When people know that the consequences of war is grave, they would love to maintain peace with one another, because war is usually destructive. Also, there should be the value of peace. When people are informed of the value of peace in the society, they would want to promote peace. Another mechanism for promoting peace is love the world. Encouraging people to love the world and also have the imagination of a peaceful future will make them live peaceably with one another. We have care for others. Care for others means that you should always show care to people, to other people, knowing that they are humans like you. You should always care for people. Now, there are three major variations of peace education, and they include conflict resolution training, democracy education, and human rights education. These are the three major variations of peace education. Now, let's look at peace education programs. Peace education programs have always been centered on conflict resolution. And these programs include: 1. The social behavioral symptoms. The social behavioral symptoms of conflict involve training individuals to resolve interpersonal disputes through techniques of negotiation and peer mediation. So, you should always ensure that there is a mediation when there is conflict between one another. There's also management of anger. Learning to manage your anger and improve communication through skills such as listening. You listen to people. You allow them pour out their mind, and you resolve the conflicts. Again, we have taking of responsibility. People are also encouraged to take responsibility for their actions when they are taught peace education. You need to take responsibility for your actions instead of looking for who to blame. There is brainstorming. The need to brainstorm together on compromise, that is to reach an agreement between two or more persons, is very, very important. You brainstorm, reach an agreement, and then the conflict is resolved. Now let's look at democracy education, which focuses on political processes associated with conflict. So democracy education is centered on the political processes that are associated with conflict. When we talk of democracy education, there is need to increase democratic participation in every country. Democratic societies enjoy peace compared to those societies that are undemocratic. Also, there is need for tolerance in every society. When you tolerate one another, you know that no one is perfect. Then, the chances that you will live peaceably with one another are very high. In conclusion, peace education centered on awareness of human rights and policies. Those policies that humanity ought to adopt in order to achieve a peaceful global community. For your assignment, 1. Explain the meaning of peace. Discuss the need for peace and state how peace can be promoted in our society. Do this in your notes until we meet again in our next class. Do have a wonderful time to yourself. Goodbye.